Meantime, switching gears, President Biden did address gun violence yesterday at an Everytown event, but curiously, he did not mention his son Hunter's felony gun conviction, which came down hours earlier. The White House also abruptly canceling the press briefing, but that did not stop the media from making this all about Donald J. Trump. Watch.
Politically, this is a big blow to Trump. And that's, I think, if you're looking for just political fallout, he's trying so hard to create this weaponization, and this has been a Republican talking point for so long.
You have a president of the United States who is living embodiment of the rule of law, even with respect to his only living son.
Republicans have really struggled to make this line of attack stick because most people see this and feel sympathy.
Fox News contributor Joe Concha joins us now. Chuck Todd said politically this is a big blow to Donald Trump. What do you think about that news coverage yesterday, Joe?
Wow. I haven't seen Chuck Todd on TV and I don't know how long. I'm like, wow, he's still there. I forgot about that. And Todd's making some sort of the other Todd is making some sort of gesture. I probably said the same thing, I'm sure.
I haven't heard of you.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Look, this is not an apples-to-apples comparison. It's not even close. One case was open and shut. That was the Hunter Biden case. He applied for a gun, he lied on a federal form about his drug use, and he got caught. And the same will be said, by the way, after his tax trial in September. He obviously did not file taxes for 2 years, despite more than $1 million in income. That's all documented. It's on paper. With the Trump trial, you could go out and ask 100 people on the street right now, what was the crime that Donald Trump committed? And no one can explain it nor define it. I guess it was, what, a bookkeeping error? And if that's the case, then that's a misdemeanor at best. It's certainly not a felony, and it's certainly not a jailable offense. Yet on July 11th, we'll have Judge Merchan deciding Donald Trump's fate in terms of whether he'll even be outside of a jail cell on Election Day. So one comparing to the other, no, because, again, the cases are two completely different things. And Hunter Biden, every legal analyst said, was going to be found guilty if the jury wasn't swayed by the fact that this was in Biden's backyard, and they were not. And here we are. But this is the equivocation that we're seeing, and it's quite hilarious if it wasn't so sad.
Yeah,
Carly,
Hunter Biden was going to get a plea deal also that would give him immunity in perpetuity, no precedent there. And then you got the IRS whistleblowers that said that they were getting blocked at every turn. So just because a jury found him guilty, no one's questioning the jury system. They're questioning the Department of Justice.
No precedent in any aspect of law. The only precedent for a get-out-of-jail-free card literally is the game of Monopoly.
Yeah.
Joe, there's also a narrative of whether Joe Biden's mental psyche is okay. That was a theme throughout a lot of the coverage yesterday. The Post, Washington Post, saying Hunter Biden's guilty verdict Tuesday, coupled with the trial that resurfaced dark moments in the Biden family history, could weigh heavily on the president in the final months of a grueling re-election campaign. Many of the president's allies privately worry. But notice the lack of similar concern for Trump's psyche. Watch the comparison.
One could argue Hunter Biden is being treated worse than your average citizen.
This has to be, as a parent, the worst nightmare come true.
Joe and Joe Biden have been role models for parents of addicted children.
Donald Trump is waking up today facing a very different reality. His first morning as a convicted felon in New York.
Donald Trump became the first American president ever convicted of a crime. And then seconds later, the first president ever convicted of 2 felonies. Then every few seconds for a few minutes thereafter, he kept breaking his own brand new old record.
Joe, my eyes aren't so great. That's why I wear these spectacles. I didn't see a lot of tears there when they were discussing Donald J. Trump. Did I miss something?
Oh, no. Well, tears of joy, if anything, after that verdict came down. Good to see, by the way, Rachel Maddow on TV. Boy, what a deal that is. $30 million to work 1 day a week. So congratulations to her. Look, overall, this is where we're at this point. Those are mostly MSNBC clips. We know where they come from completely. It used to be a different network 20 years ago. I mean, you had some folks on there that actually gave you another point of view. And then we saw, obviously, what happened to Ronna McDaniel, who was milquetoast at best in terms of making an argument that may be actually positive for Republicans or towards Donald Trump. And she was pulled from the air permanently in perpetuity after just one appearance because the inmates run the asylum over there and they made sure that she was out of there. So this is where we're at. This is what Donald Trump's going to have to deal with up until Election Day. Mostly a press that is hostile towards him while they're hospitable towards Biden. But since the messenger is so mistrusted at this point, the messenger being the media, I'm not sure what impact our media, our press has on the public psyche at this point. I'll go back to this stat because it's my favorite one. Before the 2016 election, 59 newspapers we looked at the Hill gave their endorsements of the two candidates. 57 endorsements went to Hillary Clinton, 2 went to Donald Trump, and that got Hillary Clinton a set of steak knives and a concession speech. So go figure.
Let's remember the only real takeaway you need to have from the Hunter Biden trial. The real crimes he's been accused of have been swept under the rug, and this one would have as well if not for one federal judge. That's all you need to know. Joe Concha, thank you for your time and your insight this morning. We appreciate it.
Have a great day.
I'm Steve Doocy. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.